Constitution inspire us to all build a nation that is just, strong, and united in its diversity. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. I request Learned Advocate General to speak on this occasion.
My Lord, Honorable Acting Chief Justice, my Lords, Honorable Judges, Honorable former Judges, Chairman of the Bar Council, Additional Solicitor General of India, Additional Advocates General, Deputy Solicitor General of India, Public Prosecutor, President of the Telangana High Court Advocates Association, Registrars, Director of the Judicial Academy, Secretary of the Telangana State Legal Services Authority, Secretary of Law and Legislative Affairs, Government of Telangana, members of the Bar Council, executive members of the High Court Advocates Association, respected senior members of the Bar and friends. A very good morning on this auspicious 76th Republic Day. Today we meet on 26th January to commemorate that defining moment when our ancient yet budding nation gave unto itself its own constitution, thereby becoming a sovereign democratic republic. Republic meaning a state where the political power rests with the public or people. Our constitution is the longest constitution in the world. The original manuscript was written in calligraphy font by Prem Bihari Narayan Raizada, who was originally from Dehradun. He was a master calligrapher and an expert in English language. He charged no fee for writing the document. His patriotism was such that when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru asked him how much fee to be paid, not a single paisa, sir, was his emphatic answer. Our Constituent Assembly, which consists of 300 members, had taken 2 years, 11 months, and 17 days to submit the draft of the longest living constitution in the world, which had, after 75 years, has now taken the moral shape of the Himalayas, the Ganges, and the shores of this great nation. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, in his speech on November 25, 1949, distinguished the time taken by other nations to draft their own constitutions. To name a few, the Canadian Constitution had taken 2 years, 4 months. The Australian Constitution took 9 years to become law, and these constitutions are much smaller than the Constitution of India. This was explained because there was some amount of criticism that it took a long period of time. Further, the countries of Canada and Australia do not have the diversity of our country. In fact, our country in this world has, no country in this world has such diversity. The 8th schedule of the Constitution itself has 22 official languages. However, we all agree that there are many languages with script and without a script in this country. The food habits, dress habits, culture, customs are so divergent that the great task undertaken by the founding fathers to assimilate the hopes of so many divergences into these sacred documents should be a Herculean task, unimagined and unperformed, never before or ever after. One of the defining moments of our struggle for freedom were the INA trials held in the Red Fort, Delhi. When the newspapers began to carry detailed reports about the INA trials, the vast majority of Indians began hearing for the first time about the heroic fighting by an ill-equipped and poorly supplied but valiant freedom army of soldiers and civilian recruits, men and women prepared to lay down their lives so that India would be free. It had an electrifying impact on the nation, spurred further by the upright and attractive personalities of the 3 officers facing trial, that is Prem Sehgal, Shahnawaz Khan, and Gurbaksh Dhillon. Sri Bhulabhai Desai, the legendary lawyer and patriot, was the defense counsel of the INA soldiers who were to be tried for treason by the British government. Once the prosecution was done making its case, Bhulabhai Desai took the floor. Over the course of 10 hours spread across 2 days, Desai presented a stirring defense, which among other aspects included probably the first legal argument before any court in the world which sought to establish the legal right of an enslaved nation to wage a war of national liberation against its foreign ruler. The trial and the ensuing public outrage became the tipping point that hastened the collapse of the colonial rule in India. The inaugural sitting of the Supreme Court of India on 28 January 1950 is published under the authority of the Supreme Court of India, where Sri Harilal J. Kanya, Chief Justice of India, along with other Supreme Court judges were present. The Chief Justice of all the High Courts were present. The Advocate Generals of all the states were present on the occasion. The Prime Minister of India, the Deputy Prime Minister, ministers and the ambassadors and diplomatic representatives of foreign states were also present. Speaking on this occasion, Sri M.C. Setalvad, the first Attorney General of India, addressing the illuminating gathering, gave a lengthy address. In a small portion I quote, "Scarcely less important will be the role that the court will be called upon to play in mediating between the individual and the government. The detailed enumeration of fundamental rights in the Constitution and the provisions which enable them to be reasonably restricted will need wise and discriminating decisions. On the court will fall the delicate and difficult task of ensuring to the citizen the enjoyment of the guaranteed rights consistently with the rights of society and the state. The recent judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court are a reflection of the first Attorney General's speech on the interplay between directive principles of state policy and fundamental rights. A 9-judge bench delivered a nuanced judgment in Property Owners Association v. State of Maharashtra, reported in 2024 Supreme Court Cases Online 3122. The bench declared that Article 31C, which protects certain wealth redistributive laws under Article 39B and C of the Constitution from fundamental right challenges, continues to form part of our constitutional framework. In an 8-1 majority, the bench clarified that not all privately owned property instantly qualifies as a material resource of the community. However, specific criteria such as acquisition, public purposes, or potential for nationalization must be met. This measured approach ensures that the state's pursuit of economic democracy remains proportionate, safeguarding individual rights while empowering the state to enact equitable redistributive policies in line with the constitutional vision. India has traversed a long distance ever since its tryst with destiny. It has become a robust and pulsating democracy. The former British Prime Minister, Sir Anthony Eden, who said in 1954, "The Indian venture is not a pale imitation of our practice at home, but a magnified and multiplied reproduction on a scale we have never dreamt of. If it succeeds, its influence on Asia is incalculable for good. Whatever the outcome, we must honor those who attempted it." Democracy in India has not only survived, but over the years has been deepened and strengthened. The alchemy of this has been the ingenuity of the Indian mind and intellect to innovate and evolve. All the pillars of the democracy, the judiciary, legislature, and the executive, have all worked in unison to protect and cherish the Constitution bestowed on us by our founding fathers. May this Republic Day kindle in us a renewed sense of unity, gratitude, duty, and resolve. May we build upon the legal and social transformations to forge pathways toward justice, liberty, and equality for all. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. May I now request my Lord Honorable the Acting Chief Justice to deliver his Lordship's message on the eve of Republic Day.
Namaskar, good morning to all of you. My esteemed brother and sister judges, Shri B. Narasimha Sharma, Learned Additional Solicitor General of India, Shri A. Sudarshan Reddy, Learned Advocate General and his team, Shri P. Nageshwar Rao, learned public prosecutor, the representative of Telangana State Bar Council, Shri G. Praveen Kumar, learned Deputy Solicitor General of India, Shri A. Revanth Reddy, President, Telangana High Court Bar Association, and other office bearers, learned Senior Counsel, Registrar General and his team of registrars, Director, State Judicial Academy, Member Secretary, Telangana State Legal Services Authority, Secretary, High Court Legal Services Committee, Law Secretary, learned advocates, learned judicial officers and other staff members of the High Court, the security personnels, representatives of print and electronic media, and dear friends. At the outset, on my behalf and on everybody's behalf, I salute the martyrs, the freedom fighters and makers of the Constitution, because of which we are breathing today in free air. The preamble of Constitution shows that we, the people of India, adopted, enacted, and gave to ourselves the Constitution. Thus, it is not only duty of lawmakers, law enforcers, and law interpreters, but also the duty of every citizen to protect it, being keepers of the Constitution. Our Supreme Court and High Courts have known how to read the language of liberty in the Constitution and the statutes. They have upheld human rights, without which no free system can exist. The Constitution and judicial system work hand in hand to ensure that the nation remains democratic, just, and equitable society. The Constitution provides legal and philosophical foundation for the governance, whereas the judiciary ensures that these principles are actively upheld and defended. Collectively, they form the foundation of India's democracy and the legal structure. The effectiveness of judicial system is largely determined by how well it addressed the backlog and pending cases. Through collaboration between the bar and bench, I believe we can achieve remarkable progress in reduction of pendency. I accept complete backing from the bar as we embark on this journey. From my side, on behalf of all my colleagues, we can say that we are committed to work towards the betterment of bar and the bench in every possible way. As on 1st January 24, the High Court had a pending case load of 2,31,575, which decreased to 2,29,221 by 31st December 24. During the year, 70,626 new cases were filed, while 72,980 cases were disposed of, resulting in a reduction of 2,354 pending cases. Notably, the High Court disposed of 2,334 more cases than the institution of new cases, indicating a significant progress in clearing the backlog despite paucity of judges. Along with live streaming of all the benches, 3 benches, including 2 division benches and 1 single bench, are now functioning as paperless courts, significantly improving the efficiency. The High Court also launched a new user-friendly website on 15th August 24. On 78th Independence Day, with improved navigation and accessibility to enhance public service, 97 e-Seva Kendras were inaugurated, with 1 located in the High Court and rest across districts and taluka courts. A total 131 personnel were employed in these centers to assist the litigants. The digitization of court records for the district judiciary commenced in 10 districts of the state, streaming record keeping and access. On the procedural front, the High Court implemented N-step for serving warrants and summons on the criminal side and introduced new rules under the Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita and Telangana Electronic Process Issuance, Service and Execution Rules 2024. Other notable initiatives include the launch of online RTI portal, e-visitors pass, e-payment module for court fees, and online leave module for judicial officers. Video conferencing equipment was provided to district courts, prisons, and hospitals, enhancing connectivity from remote hearing. To further improve the experience for shareholders, free Wi-Fi was made available within the High Court premises. These advancements collectively highlight the commitment of High Court to modernization, accessibility, and efficiency. The High Court has recently launched its annual recruitment calendar 2025, detailing the tentative dates of notification, submission of applications, examinations, etc., for filling up the vacancies in the High Court service and state judicial, ministerial, and subordinate services. In respect of Telangana Legal Services Authority, 3,816 legal awareness programs were conducted and 14,017 persons were benefited through legal aid in the year 24. Further, in